Hey guys, I'm back. I have another spectacular meal for you to try today. It's a nice rainy day outside, so it's nice and cold. So we are going to make a wonderful, yummy meal that's going to stick to your ribs and make you feel all warm and gooey on the inside. I am ready to get started, but before we do, don't forget to comment, like, and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Most importantly, I am ready to get started for you, so let's get going. Okay guys, glad you decided to join us today. I have some spectacular stuff to show you. So before we get started with our actual meal, I wanted to show you, I'm sharing all my recipes with you, so I wanted to share what I actually drink every day with you. So I'm going to move the camera down so that you can see what we have going on here. And we have our nice little glass pitcher of water, we have some sugar, and we have some lime juice. Now, the reason this came about is because years ago, I would always get a soda to drink with my meal or some tea or something like that. It was always, if I ordered tea in a restaurant, it was always too sweet, so I had to get water to add to it. Or if I got the soda, I knew I was taking in way too much sugar and I just didn't want to. So I decided to make a beverage just for me. Now, I call it lime water. Reason I call it lime water is because if I called it limeade, that means it's a bunch of sugar in there and a bunch of lime juice. This is lime water because there is a minimal amount of sugar and a minimal amount of lime juice. I want it to be more like water, but I want the essence of the limes and just a little hint of sweetness. So I'm just gonna mix this up for you so you can get a peek at it and see how this, when we get started this is 9 cups of water in my little glass pitcher here. This is 2 limes that I got lime juice from, all the juice from 2 limes, and this is 3/4 cups of sugar. Now, let me give you this. Another little hack. I told you I love watching hacks, so I'm going to give you another one. I know it's not easy to get the juice out of a lime, not even easy to get the juice out of a lemon. So what you do, guys, is that you just take your whole little lime, however many you're going to use, in this case 2, pop it in your microwave for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. That will get the lime nice and soft, and all you do once it's soft and it's finished, you just poke a little hole in this little area here, and I think I do the back. Like, this part is a little bit puckered up, if you can see, but I use the part that's flat right here, and all I do is just poke a little hole in there. You can use a needle if you want, but I just stick a little knife tip in there, get a hole in there, and squeeze. It pours out just like water. And it's just a little tip for you, you know, just a little hack, if you will. So, all right, I'm going to put this back down so you can see. And again, this is 3/4 cups of sugar, and we're just going to add it to our pitcher of water. And remember, that is 9 cups of water, guys. And this is the juice from 2 limes. So we're going to pour that in. And it has the pulp and everything in there, guys, so don't worry. It's still nice and yummy. If you like orange juice with pulp in it, this will be fine for you. And all you do is just give it a stir. And it has a wonderful little color in it because, again, it is lime juice and it does have that color. But it's just, when you taste it, it's just a hint of lime and it's just a hint of sugar. And that's all you want. So I am going to, I think this is pretty stirred up and mixed in pretty good there. So I am going to get my glass that I have graciously filled with ice, and I'm going to pour me a little bit. Hopefully I can do it without spilling it everywhere. Okay. There you go. And then just if you're serving this to someone, guys, other than yourself, you can put your little lime wedge on the side of your glass right there. Give a cute little presentation. And there you have it. Your yummy, yummy lime water. Let's get a little swig of it. So refreshing and good. Get a little hint of that lime juice in there and a little bit of sweetness to follow. Wonderful and refreshing. And guys, don't be afraid if it's in the morning or if you're just sitting around having a good time. Pour some of this in a teacup, put it in your microwave and heat it up, and it is just as yummy, hot as it is cold. Thank you. Now let's get ready for our meal. I'll be right back. Okay guys, we are back and we are ready to get started with a wonderful meal for you today. I did not tell you what it was prior to. I was kind of excited about the lime water, so I didn't tell you exactly what we're making today. We are going to do a beef stroganoff with our wide egg noodles and a green bean and tomato mixture to go on the side. It is going to be to die for. I promise you, just watch. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull the camera down so you can see what we have going on here. And I have 3 little eyes going on here, three portions of my stove, on. So this, we have our boiling water and it is almost about to boil. It's not there yet, but it's on the way. I'll turn it up just to make sure. This is our pan that we're going to put our green beans and tomatoes in. And I think, guys, we're going to do our steak in this big large cast iron skillet. Now, if you do not have a large cast iron skillet, I do think a regular skillet will do, but this is a little bit heavier and the heat distribution is a little bit better. And the skillet, once it's hot and it is ready to cook. So we are going to get started, and the first thing I'm going to do, guys, is grab my green beans here. I have 2 cans of Del Monte whole green beans. I don't know if you can see that if I put it down there. And there you go. And I'm just going to put it in the pan. And I have to get better about that. I'm going to put it in a pot. It's not a pan, it's a pot. So we're going to put that in our pot. And to that, guys, we are going to add 1 can of Rotel Tomatoes. And if you were there for the other recipe that I did with the rice pilaf, I love Rotel Tomatoes. I use it with everything. Now, if you don't care for these, feel free to chop you up a tomato and put it up in there. I just want the flavors of the tomato and the green beans to go together. So I'm going to use my Rotel Tomatoes. And I say Rotel Tomatoes, but you can use any brand of chopped diced tomatoes that you like. It does not matter. It'll still have the same effect. So we're going to pour this in. I'm going to put it down so you can see. And we're going to get those Rotel tomatoes in there. Again, any tomato. I keep saying Rotel, but it could be any tomato. And with that, guys, we're going to season it just a bit. And we want just the flavor of the green beans and tomatoes. I think I told you guys early on that a lot of times when I make my veggies, I actually put a bit of chicken base in there just to give it a little extra layer of flavors. With this one, I really just want to taste the green beans and the tomatoes. I don't need anything to enhance that but salt and pepper. So we're going to put some in there. And again, guys, just to your taste, I'm going to put just a couple of sprinkles in here, maybe 2 little sprinkles of salt. That's probably not even a half teaspoon. And with the pepper, I'm going to do be a little bit more liberal with that because I love pepper. So that was maybe 4 pinches of it. I don't know how much, but again, you can season it to your taste. It doesn't have to be mine. And with that being said, we are going to add, guys, just to enhance the flavor a bit, but the flavor of the veggies, not anything else, we're going to put in a little bit of olive oil. So I'm going to guess if I had to pour that in there, maybe of 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. And we have one more thing that's going to add to this and just make it extra yummy, and that is some chopped onions. And they're not chopped, actually, they're sliced. So we're going to add some sliced onions to our green beans and tomato mixture. And I'm going to grab a spoon to get all of that stirred up really well. Now, doesn't that look good already? Come on. That looks amazing already. You don't even have to do anything else to that, really. Well, maybe cook it, but that's it. And guys, you know me, I told you I love pepper and I love to see pepper flakes on my food. So I'm going to go in with just a little bit more pepper. Again, I think that's going to give it a total of like 6 or 7 pinches. And if I had to guess, it was probably a teaspoon of pepper in there. Again, season it to your taste. If you don't want that much pepper, just don't put it. So we have that cooking on. Look how yummy that looks already. And all we did was put it in the pot. So we are going to let that cook a little bit. Now, I was ready for my water to boil. It hasn't, but it doesn't matter. So we're going to go ahead and put our noodles in. And guys, this is just, I always buy the no yolk, extra broad, extra wide noodles. And I just like a fatter noodle or a wider noodle, if you will. If you like the more slender version of that, use that for this recipe. But I like the wide noodles, and this is 7 cups of noodles. So I'm going to pour it in my water. Let you see me do that. Just sprinkle it. And guys, I did say that before I actually got started with this, I put salt in this water. And I learned that when you're boiling dry noodles, you want a lot of salt in there so the salt actually gets in and penetrates those noodles. So I think I put about 3 tablespoons of salt in this water. And this water is just about, I think it's about, I don't know, maybe 4 quarts of water. And it may not be 4 quarts, you guys. I'm looking at my little measuring thing here, and I can't actually tell what that says. But if you have a pot, this is probably a, I don't know what quart this is, but I don't want to tell you anything wrong, but just a half of a big pot of water, and I put enough salt in there, which again, 3 tablespoons of salt in here just to salt the water. And we're not going to use the water, so it doesn't matter how salty the water is. We just want it to actually get in to penetrate our noodles. Okay? So we have that going on, guys. And what we're going to do next is we're going to get ready to saute our steak. Now, I have to be honest, I kind of had a little back and forth with myself because I was thinking, well, should I bread the steak before I saute it, or should I just not saute it at all and just leave it plain? I opted to just leave it plain. There's no flour on here. There's just seasoning on here. And guys, I'm doing something a little different today, and I want you to try this. What it is normally I would take either stew beef or just some sort of steak that I've chopped up or sliced myself, and I would use that for my beef stroganoff. Today, I am going to use cube steak. Okay, this is just cube steak that I actually sliced in little ribbons. I've seasoned it with just a little bit of salt, a pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. That is all that's on here. And again, it's just cube steak this time as opposed to just any other steak that you might use for this, or stew beef. Just cube steak. Yeah. So I'm going to sit it down here, and I'm going to grab my toast, and we are going to get to frying. And guys, with this, I think it would be best if you just kind of did this one layer at a time. Okay, so we're going to just put it in, and again, we're going to spread it out on our pan so it's just one layer of meat. I know you can it probably wouldn't hurt much if you actually put it in and like just put it all in and just let it cook, but I want this to be nice and tender. And cube steak, if you're aware of it, it takes a little, it's not a real tender cut of meat. I'm not sure what part of the cow this is, but it's not a real tender part. And one thing about meat that's not that, about beef is if you get a part that's not really tender, you either have to cook it really quickly or really slowly. So we're going to cook this relatively quick. So we're going to just let that cook. That looks good already. So we're going to let that just cook. Again, one thin layer is what we're looking for. We don't want it all piled on top of each other. We want it to just cook evenly in one thin layer. So guys, I am going to go ahead and clean some of this stuff up, put some of my cans in the trash that I had, and get some of this stuff cleaned up. I will be right back. Okay guys, we are back. I have already browned off our first little section of meat here. I'm going to let you see it, our first little batch. And there it is right there. Turned out really good. It looks nice and wonderful and brown and yummy. So we're going to brown off our last little batch of meat that we have here and get everything going. And guys, while that was cooking, our noodles are just about done. I am going to taste one to make sure it's as tender as I like it. And again, when you taste yours, if it's as tender as you like it, go ahead and drain it and take it off. And we're going to see a little noodle. That's perfect. Okay, that is cooked the way I like it. So I am going to take it over here and drain it. Be right back. Wait a minute. Let me, well, it's not that hot, so I'm going to drain it. I'll be okay. All right, let me take it to our colander here. We already have in our sink. And we're just going to drain the water off it. And guys, I always leave just a little bit of water in the bottom of it just for safekeeping. And then we're going to take our noodles and put them back in the pot. And we're going to bring it back over here to the stove and turn it off, which we should have did that before, but we're going to turn it off. And guys, what I always do once I prepare my noodles, be it spaghetti, macaroni, whatever, when I'm done with it, I always go back and add a little bit of olive oil to it and just a little bit of chives. That chives gives it just that extra little So I'm going to put the camera down so you can see. And there's our noodles that we've drained. And I am going to add, if I had to guess, maybe about a teaspoon or two of olive oil to it. Again, I told you before, I think olive oil just kind of enhances the flavor of whatever you put it on. So I'm going to put a little olive oil in there. And I love to see little specks of stuff on my food. So the chives actually does give it a little bit of flavor, but I actually like what it looks like when I put it on there. So we're going to put about, I'm going to put it in the same place, maybe about a tablespoon of chopped dried chives in there. And I'm going to take my spoon and just mix it around. And again, there's a little layer of water in the bottom of this because, you know, just to keep our noodles hydrated, because we're not about to use them yet, but we want them hydrated. Nobody wants to eat dry noodles, so we'll just do this. And look at that. Doesn't that look wonderful? I hope you guys can see those little green flakes on there. And again, it's not enough to actually, you'll taste the flavor of the chives in there, but we don't want to change the flavor of our noodles. We want the noodles to stand out and stand up to our stroganoff. So it's just enough in there. Again, it's more so, in my opinion, it's more so for presentation, but I do like that little hint of onion at the back of it. So we have our meat here, guys. Our little string beans and onions and tomatoes are just cooking away. And we are just going to continue to get our last batch of meat browned and ready for that yummy gravy we're going to put on it. So I am going to do this for a minute and I will be right back. Okay guys, we are back. We have browned all of our cube steak. There it is, our little steak there. And what we have here now left is we have the grease and the pan that we use to cook that. So I'm going to take some of the grease out of this pan. I'm just going to turn around and pour a little bit of it out, not all of it, but the majority of it. And we're going to leave about maybe 3 tablespoons of that oil in there that we use to cook our meat. And we're going to put it back on the eye, or back on the stove. I have got to stop saying I hate saying that, but I'm used to saying it. So we have our pan here, and we are going to take a little bit of flour. And I'm not sure how I normally do this, but I'm going to grab a little spoon here. And I'm going to start with about 2 heaping tablespoons of flour. And I'm just going to put it at the bottom of the pan. Maybe 2.5. Okay? And I'm going to put this down, guys, so you can see what I'm doing here. So I've just put my flour in there. And this is all the yummy little tidbits that were left over from frying that cube steak. So you're just going to mix your flour in there. Let it cook just a little bit until it's to the nice color of brown that you want it. And I like it about as brown as the meat is. If you can see the meat there, I like to brown my flour until it's as brown as that. And you can just let it sit. And guys, keep stirring it because this is flour and oil and it will burn pretty quickly. So you just want to stir it, scrape up all those little goodies that were left. I'm going to grab my mitt, guys, because I don't want to burn my hand. But I'm going to scrape up all those little yummy goodies that were left in the bottom of the pan. And like I said, once it gets to a nice brown consistency, guys, I think I'm going to add a little bit more flour in there. Probably another little tablespoon of flour, and just mix it up. Because you want it kind of thick, because the thicker it is, the thicker your gravy will be. I mean, and I wish I can give you the exact measurements to make sure it's right, but I do this mainly by just looking at it. Okay, and now that we have that in, we are going to go in, and I think that's as brown as I want mine. I don't know how brown it looks on the camera for you guys, but I think that's as brown as I want it. So I'm going to take some water. And guys, there are 5 cups of water in here, and I don't think I'm going to use it all, but I'm just going to start to pour my water in there. I'm not going to pour all of it at one time. I'm just going to pour a little bit at a time and then stir it so that I can see the consistency of my gravy. And I can see now that we need a little bit more water. So we're going to put a little bit more in there. And we're going to stir as we go. And as you see, this just gets wonderful and gooey and thick. And yes, we do need a little bit more water. And guys, this is how I do it. Again, I wish I could just measure it out and tell you what is what, but I don't know it like that. All I know is that I just put it in and I just keep adding water until I get the consistency that I want. And see, that is a nice, yummy, thick gravy. It looks amazing. And just keep stirring. And again, I'm going to put just a bit more in there because as it cooks, it's going to get a little bit thicker. So I don't want to water it all. I want a nice, thick, yummy gravy, but I'm just going to keep adding water until I think we've reached our consistency that we want. And guys, I use my wooden spoon for this because it's a flat wooden spoon like a paddle. So you can use it to kind of scrape the bottom of your pan as you're mixing in your water. And guys, it looks like there's a couple of little lumps in there. Trust me, once this is all cooked and done, they will just dissolve out. Dissolve into the gravy. And I think that that is the consistency one. I think I'm going to go in with just a little bit of water because we're going to add a couple more things to this. So just a smidgen more of water. And we're going to stir this all up. Okay, that looks good. Check that out, guys. It looks amazing. That is some good gravy right there. Now, here's the fun part. Once you have it like that, it looks like that, grab a spoon. I'm going to grab one here. And you want to just give it a taste. You know, that way, if you need more pepper or you need more salt or you need something else in it, this is the time to determine that. So I'm just going to dip my spoon in there, guys. And I'm just going to give it a taste. It is yummy, but we need a couple of more. I'm going to put my spoon in the sink. And grab another one because I want more salt and a little bit more pepper in there. See, again, I think that's why I don't know the measurements with this to actually give you. You'll just have to do it by taste, because once you get that consistency that you want, you can add a little bit more seasoning if you need a little bit more seasoning. So I'm going to put just about, that's about a teaspoon of salt in there. Just sprinkle it in and give it a stir. And based upon what I tasted before, I think I'm going to stop right there. If I need more later, I can add it, but I think I'm just going to let that stop right there. And what I'm going to do now, guys, is we're going to add the rest of our veggies. And what we're going to put, you know, beef stroganoff, the main ingredient, there's a couple of main ingredients in there that makes it beef stroganoff. Mushrooms. That's the first. The second is sour cream, and we'll do that a little bit later. But right now, we're going to add a couple of onions in here. This is one whole chopped onion, and we're going to put it in. And next we're going to put in about 2 cups of mushrooms that I buy the mushrooms, the little button white mushrooms. I buy them whole and I chop them myself. The supermarket offers them already chopped, but I've never had a good experience with those, so I always buy the whole mushroom and I chop it myself. So I'm gonna let you see me put this in. So there's our yummy gravy, and it's nice and bubbly and gooey and good. And I told you guys, those lumps that we saw in there initially, they were going to come out, and they have. So we're going to put, let me grab another one of these. We're going to put our onions in there. And again, this is one whole chopped onion. And I guess I had to say, if I had to say, it was a large onion that we used to chop that. And we're going to add 2 cups of chopped mushrooms that I chopped myself. And guys, if you like the mushrooms that come pre-chopped, go ahead, feel free to use those. I just have not had a wonderful experience with those, so I always prefer to just chop my own. So we're going to put that in and stir it around. And guys, you notice I left my little water pitcher right here because if I need to add more water to this, I'm going to. I'm just going to put that in. Doesn't that look wonderful already, guys? It hadn't even simmered down yet or anything, but look how wonderful that looks. Absolutely amazing. And that's our gravy that we use to make the grease in there that we use to make our roux, to make our wonderful thick brown gravy. And we've added our chopped onions to that and mushrooms. Guys, I'm going to add a little bit more water because again, it's going to look, it's a little bit thicker than I want it. So, and keep your little water container by you as well, because that way, if you go in and you think you need just a little bit more water in there, don't be afraid to add it. It's okay. It's not going to dilute anything, because if you go back later and you taste it and you feel that you need more seasoning, just add it. Simple. Okay, guys, now is the moment of truth. We're going to add our steak in there. And all you do is just put it in. I left mine on the stove close by, so it would be right at my fingertips. And we're going to put that in. All the yummy morsels that were left at the bottom of that plate from that meat we cooked, we're going to add that into. And guys, we are just going to stir this puppy up. Now, how wonderful does that look? I mean, really, look at that. Don't you want to eat that right now? It's not even done, but look at it. Let me move my camera so you can see a nice, good little view of that. Look at that. And it's starting to bubble again. Oh, amazing. I can't wait to eat. which you already know that's my favorite part of the program. So look at that. That is so wonderful. Oh my goodness. And again, that's pretty thick, so I'm going to add just a little bit of water. Maybe about a half a cup. I can see that that's probably half a cup. So mix it all in. Ah, look at that. Does that not look amazing? Now, how in the world can you tell me on a nice, cold winter day, this is not a meal that you like to partake in? You know it is. It's okay. It's all right. Even if you don't want to say it, I already know it. It's okay. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Guys, that looks absolutely amazing already. You know me, I'm already ready to eat, but I'll wait. I'll wait. I won't just start eating raw stuff. I'll just wait. So guys, we are going to give that a chance to kind of cook together and get our meat a little bit more tender, get our gravy all gooey and wonderful like it already is, but even more so. I will be right back. I am going to continue to stir this and let it finish doing what it does best. I will be right back. Okay guys, we are back and we are at my favorite part of the video. It is time to eat. I am going to give you one more little peek at our wonderful stroganoff. And we are going to add our little finishing touch to this stroganoff, and that is our wonderful sour cream. There you go. I'm going to move this over a little bit. Guys, we are going to add, and what you do with your stroganoff, guys, when it is completely done, when your beef and gravy mixture is done, you turn your fire off, and that's when you add your sour cream. I am going to start with a pretty big amount of sour cream, a pretty big dollop. And I think I'm going to put 2 in there like that. 2 dollops of sour cream. And we are going to use our spoon and stir that in. And that sour cream, guys, just adds a wonderful little layer of flavor to that already wonderful beef, gravy, mushroom, and onion mixture. Ah, look at that. Oh my goodness. You know that this is my favorite part, guys, when I know we are done and I know it is time to eat. Let's get this sauce. Oh, I wish you could smell this. Oh my goodness. Let's get it all. Look at that. That is so wonderful, you guys. Look at that amazing meal there. Let's get it all mixed in. Nice and wonderful. Now, normally I would taste this before, but I already know that it is perfection. And the only thing I need to do is get this in my mouth and get to chewing and eating. That is it. All right. We are going to get rid of this spoon right here. It has served its purpose. We don't need it any longer. And I am going to get my mitts and I'm going to remove these tops from our wonderful meal we have here. I just want you to see my excitement. I'm about to plate this food up and eat it. I just wanted you to see it, but I'm going to let you watch me plate it and eat it, but I'm just going to put it down now. But I just want to put the camera up one more time so you can see how happy I am because I'm about to eat. Here you go. Here you go. All right, let's get our plate. We're going to get our pasta spoon here. I don't know what this is called, but we're going to call it a pasta spoon. We're going to put some of those noodles on our plate. Oh, if you could smell these. I'm standing over these tomatoes and green beans. If you could smell that, guys. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Look at that. Does that not look wonderful? Let's get a big spoon, and we're going to put some of our green beans and tomato and onion mixture on there. Right on the side where it belongs. Look at that. All those yummy onions and tomatoes in there, in those green beans. Oh my goodness, nothing could be wonderful. And star of the show, our wonderful stroganoff that we substituted cube steak with it, and we're going to put some of that on there. Get some of that those mushrooms and that gravy. Look at that. Can you guys see that? I hope I was holding it down good. Look at that. Look at that wonderful plate. Does that not look amazing? We're going to grab some of these chopped dried chives and sprinkle over the top for a little added effect of yumminess. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. Let's just take it over here. Right here, guys. I'm going to bring my camera over so that you guys can get a look at this wonderful, wonderful meal we have prepared today. I'm going to put the camera down to sit on and move this all out of the way. And I just want you to take a peek at this wonderful meal we have here. Look at that. That wonderful beef stroganoff on top of those wide egg noodles with that yummy mixture of green beans, onions, and tomatoes. Oh my goodness. All right. There's just no point in us waiting any longer to do this. Everything is done. We've done our due diligence. It is time to eat. Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm gonna cut a piece of this meat here, guys. And normally I like to taste everything individually. I don't have to do that today. I'm just gonna start eating, people. All right, look at that. See if I can get some noodles on there too. Wonderful. That is not a big enough bite, but as usual, this is piping hot, so I'm just gonna get what I can. That steak is so tender with that tender noodles and that yummy savory gravy on there. I'm gonna get a bigger bite. This is just the noodles. Look at that. You know you want that. Look at that. Come on. Let me see if I can get it closer so you can see it. Look at that. Wonderful egg noodles with that yummy beef stroganoff gravy on there. That is amazing. Wait a minute. We are not going to sleep on these veggies. Let me get you a good bite of it. That is our green bean and tomato and onion mixture. Let's get it. Oh my. Not gonna eat all of this, you know that. I just have to get one more little piece. I'm sorry. It is just too wonderful for me to stop there. Hold on. One more. I just want you to get the full effect of this. And like I said, if you were here eating this with me, you'd understand my plight. But if you don't, that's okay. Look at that. Oh. To be in sheer bliss has to be something like this. This is amazing. Oh my God. Okay. All right. I'm going to be good today. This is it. I promise. Last one. Oh my goodness. That is absolutely wonderful. Don't forget our refreshing lime water on the side. And this is a wonderful meal, and this is a wonderful compliment because it's nice and refreshing. And again, if it's cold enough, make it hot, but this is the way I'm having it right now. That entire thing is absolutely perfect. So wonderful. Guys, as usual, I certainly appreciate you hanging with me today. This was a wonderful, wonderful meal. Again, I love a cold, rainy day. I love a cloudy day, but this is a great meal to have on one of those days. For my tip of the day, not really a tip of the day. Before, the things that I said was about kindness and empathy. I just want you to know that God gave you this light. And it's a beautiful light. And it is contagious. When your light shines, it goes to someone else. So the only thing I want to say today is don't forget to let your light shine, because it's shining on someone else may cause their light to shine. They may wonder, what is it about her that is so beautiful, that is so wonderful? It is the light that God gave us. So don't forget to utilize that every day that you can. Don't forget to be loving and sweet and kind to someone, everyone that you meet if possible. It's a beautiful thing. It'll make the world a so much better place. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with me today. And wait a minute. Before I go, I have to do this. I forgot to say my grace. I'm always so ready to eat this. I always forget to say my grace. So, Father, thank you for the food we are about to receive, that we have received for the nourishment of our body, Father. It was only by your precious grace that we were only allowed to be here and do this today and share it with our wonderful friends. Thank you so much, Father, for your grace and your mercy. I give you, Lord, all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen. All right, guys, that is it. That has concluded our video. Thank you so much for watching with us again, and I will be back again with more yummy meals. Try this recipe. You will completely enjoy it. And once again, don't forget to comment, like, and share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining me. Bye.